Independence Day Resurgence is the longly awaited sequel to Independence Day, one of the most iconic sci-fi and action movies of the 90s. Seriously, I was always told that during 1996, when this movie was announced, people were just hailing this movie as the Star Wars of this decade. I mean, people were just flocking to see Independence Day for its groundbreaking visual effects, its really fun and exciting action scenes, and its really good cast. So how do people see it nowadays? Well, me personally, I do think Independence Day is a really fun, enjoyable movie. I agree with all those points that I did say about people who loved it in the 90s, but I don't think it's a perfect movie. I do think it suffers from some flaws with character development and storytelling, but all in all, it's a really fun and entertaining movie to watch. And finally, after 20 years, we have been given a sequel to Independence Day, something people have been talking about since it was released in 1996. Now, if you remember from the trailer reaction I did for Independence Day Resurgence a little while ago, I said that this movie would go basically either one of two ways. It would either be a fantastic sequel that was well worth the wait, or it would be a shitty sequel that wasted our time. So how do I feel it did? Let's just break this movie down for you. Honestly, people, I don't even know where to begin with this movie, so you know what? I'm just gonna start off talking about the first third of this movie. Because honestly, guys, I just want to talk about the first third of this movie as quickly as I possibly can, because the first third of this movie was so boring. I mean, the movie immediately has to establish that in those last 20 years, we have combined our technology with the aliens' technology to give us a great military. And then the movie touches on the President of the United States from Independence Day and how he's having this PTSD, these visions of the aliens coming back and destroying us all. Then you flash over to the former president's daughter and Will Smith's character's son, you know, both from Independence Day. They're both grown up now. The former president's daughter, she's engaged to Liam Hemsworth, who's a really reckless pilot working for the military. And Liam Hemsworth and Will Smith's character's son, they're at really hard odds with each other because I guess Liam Hemsworth almost killed him in a training accident or something. And then the movie flashes over to Jeff Goldblum. He's somewhere in Africa doing some investigation towards the alien remains that they found from Independence Day. And then you have that scientist from the first Independence Day who you thought was killed by one of the aliens, but he wasn't. He's just been in a coma for 20 years. That makes sense. And now he's back to do more research and to also deduce that the aliens are probably also going to come back. It is trying so hard to make every single character in this movie equally relevant. The first Independence Day knew, alright, these are the characters we need to focus on. These are the ones that the audience will connect with most and care about most. Independence Day Resurgence tries so hard to make us care for all of these characters, and as a result, it just has to shove in your face all of these various storylines in the first act. And because the movie is bombarding you with all these various storylines, it really makes it really hard for you to get interested in any of them because none of them are even that interesting to begin with. So yeah, because the entire first third of this movie just focuses on these characters that you don't really care about, these storylines that you don't really care about, it makes the movie feel so slow. Swear to you, the pacing in this movie is so bad in the first third, it's gonna have you sitting there like, oh fuck, what happened? Oh, they're still building on these people? So yeah, Liam Hemsworth is a part of this military station on the moon. They see this giant new alien ship coming at them through a wormhole. And the government immediately orders the team on the moon to shoot down and destroy this alien ship. But Jeff Goldblum steps in and he's all like, no, do not shoot down this ship. I'm not really detecting anything dangerous about this. I don't think this ship is a threat. We don't have to destroy it. But nope, the government is all like, nope, let's not listen to Jeff Goldblum, you know, one of the guys who basically helped save the world in Independence Day from the aliens. Let's shoot down this ship right now. Forget what he says. So yeah, that ship is destroyed. Jeff Goldblum then goes up to the moon to regroup with Liam Hemsworth so they can investigate the wreckage of this ship. But it's in this moment they all discover this big-ass motherfucking spaceship heading straight for Earth that is literally the size of the United States. Yep, the aliens have returned and now they're gonna fuck shit up for us. So yeah, the ship then lands on the United States and it just starts destroying everything. And the movie at this stage is trying to show you just how much of a bigger threat this spaceship is and how the aliens are gonna be in this one, because the damage that they're causing to the cities and to the country in this movie, it's a lot more catastrophic. You know, you can see them using this tractor beam to just rise up and destroy all these cities. They're killing all these people. They're causing tidal waves and all this other wreckage to happen. And you can tell in this moment that the movie is trying to take this whole, you know, oh, bigger is better type of route. But what this movie fails to understand is what a lot of sequels fail to understand. Bigger is not always better. I mean, you see all this wreckage and destruction and just people dying happening, and yeah, maybe it's to a greater extent from Independence Day, but it is essentially the same thing happening again. So yeah, that really bummed me out. We still weren't really getting anything original with this movie. So yeah, the aliens have arrived. They still intend to harvest the heat of the core of the Earth, apparently. So yep, now the humans are preparing for a rematch with the aliens. But in the meantime, let's check in with Jeff Goldblum's dad, who apparently survived a giant tidal wave crashing onto his little boat when the destruction of the world was going on. Are you fucking serious? I mean, literally, Jeff Goldblum's dad was out there in the middle of the ocean just driving this boat, then a giant tidal wave came and literally crashed on and destroyed this little boat that he was on. And somehow his dad survived it. So yeah, if you go to see this movie, you better keep an open mind because so much ridiculous shit happens in it. But don't worry, Jeff Goldblum's dad is eventually rescued by these kids driving this car to get away from their city that had just been destroyed. And now it's at this point you realize, oh my gosh, there are more new characters? And yet the movie's trying to make these kids really relevant too by talking about, oh, their parents died, they're trying to survive on their own, and you know, Jeff Goldblum's dad is trying to help them along the way. I mean, first of all, these kids weren't even really that good in the movie, but then I stopped and I thought to myself, were they even necessary for it? I mean, seriously, all these kids do is they find Jeff Goldblum's dad and they bring him back to civilization. That's it and that's all. Anyone could have done that. Hell, even Jeff Goldblum's dad really didn't do anything in this movie, so it really makes you wonder why he is here. So yeah, at this point, the scientist who's not in the coma anymore, he's done some more research into the ship that was destroyed on the moon earlier in the movie, and he's able to open up this container that reveals this giant white talking sphere that apparently knows everything about the aliens. You know, it tells the humans that the aliens apparently operate like a beehive. They have this queen that they follow the command of, and that if they can destroy the queen, then the aliens will be forced to surrender and they will leave Earth. So now the big climatic battle is finally here, and oh boy. It's honestly a bit of a mess. I mean, for starters, we have these new ships that we've built with the alien technology, and the ships that we have, they kind of look like the alien ships that we're supposed to be fighting against. And because of that, when you see this action going down, you see these ships firing at each other, you're watching it like, wait, which one am I rooting for again? So that's the problem with some of the action in this movie. It's hard to even understand what's going on in most of it. But yeah, they know their main target is to destroy the Queen's ship because they have to get to her. And to destroy the ship, the former president, he comes out, he decides to pilot one of these jets, fly into the ship on a suicide mission, which destroys it. Again, you watch it, it's just like, we saw the exact same thing in Independence Day. Are you kidding me? But no, I guess it's not over yet because the Queen, I guess, has her own built-in force field, so now she's just out running around and wrecking shit. But it's alright because at this point, Liam Hemsworth and Will Smith's character's son, they've made up, they're friends again now. And then the former president's daughter, she decides to finally make herself relevant. She comes and she joins the fight. And yeah, the three of them, they're able to kill the Queen. The aliens are now retreating. You think the movie's finally over. But no, the scientist, he comes out, he regroups with everyone, and he tells them all, I've done more research on the alien sphere. I've talked to it more. And this sphere has told me that it has this weaponry we can use to fight against the aliens. That it has this resistance army from all over the universe for us to unite against to take the aliens down for good. And the other characters are like, oh, so you want us to prepare for an all-out assault on the aliens' homeworld? And the scientist, literally, just before the movie ends, he looks at them and he says, we're gonna kick some serious alien ass. Give me a break. They might as well have just had the scientist break the fourth wall and turn to the camera and just say, that's right, folks. I hope you enjoyed waiting 20 years for this mess, because you're about to get a third one. Maybe it'll be better. It's just such a forced and lazy way to set up for a sequel. I mean, it's corny. It honestly feels out of place. It was only like 30 seconds long of a setup. I have seen great movies end with great setup towards great sequels that came later on. We know it has been done before. But no, this movie actually thought it could be lazy enough with that ending because it actually thinks it's going to make so much money in the box office that people are going to actually want to go see a third one after this. So all in all, Independence Independence Day Resurgence was such a disappointing movie. The new characters were just boring and hollow. I didn't give a shit about them. The old characters that we already liked, they were executed so poorly that you don't really give a shit about them. The pacing in this movie just sucks. The movie tries to have that humor that Independence Day had going for it, but in the end, this humor in this movie is just corny and stupid. The movie has way too many storylines to try to get invested with. The overall story in this movie is basically the same thing as the first Independence Day. They try to go bigger and better with the action scenes, but they're really nothing you haven't seen before. The movie does have good visual effects, so I'll at least give the movie that. And in the end, all I can say is the fact that we have been hearing about an Independence Day sequel for so long, and now that we have finally gotten one, I think everyone will agree that it would have been better if they had just left Independence Day alone. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.